Hey, it's o2manyfish. We are at the end of November. It's Thanksgiving on Thursday. Right now it's Sunday evening, and I'm outside with my girls. Izzy, say hi. Izzy Bear, say hello. Izzy doesn't care. And I think, oh, Samaki's going to take a crap for us. Anyways, it's o2manyfish. We're outside. We're going to start with frag tanks. There's two videos posting tonight. One is how we're going to take the frag tank that we finally got set up over the summer, the one that blew out, and got loaded with corals, and we're going to probably shut it down, and maybe the second one. Some things in life have changed, and we're trying to simplify things and make things less complicated. So if you're interested in what free stuff are available to people that live in Southern California, look at the other video. As far as how the system is doing, this video is just about the system itself. Things are going really well. Corals are, for the most part, corals are doing good. Fish are doing good. Things are happy, lots of stuff multiplying. Haven't had any major equipment breakdowns other than I've been struggling with the alkalinity monitors, both the Alcatronic and the Hydros IV. Not because of the products, just because of the way my brain is just not functioning as well as it used to. And that's also part of the reason why we're talking about stopping the outdoor frag tanks, because it's just, we got to try to make life a little bit easier for me. So fish out here are doing really well. We can't go. My wife and I were out here just a little bit ago, and you should see the size of the little filefish that's out here. He started out as like a typical, like, get a filefish and clean up. There he is. Get a filefish and clean up your aptasia. And so he was like, probably smaller than about the size of a damsel. And he's the rack there. He's a monster now. He's huge. Just pick on the little stuff that's in the frag tank. Pretty very cool. Sadly, we did lose one of the two gold flakes that was outside. I'm not sure what happened. It was stuck to a pump a couple weeks ago. I was really upset by that. I think we're going to move the Imperator into the 750 and let him start being inside. Just going to start making some changes on the system. And then let's go take a look at what the system looks like inside the house, right? Because that's what you guys really want to see. So we're still outdoors, and we're going to head inside today. Oh, it looks pretty good from outside the doors. We go inside, and now hopefully I'm using the Steadicam tonight, so you guys will hopefully not have to deal too much with my bouncing hands and crap. The video will do itself okay. So as you can see, the tank is doing pretty darn good. We've lost just a couple pieces in the last few weeks. Those that remember the deep water that was here, green and purple polka dots, that one we lost, and it was entirely my fault, which is not a good thing. This is when your brain starts to go, it's so bad. Polyclads. Turned over, found a polyclad, and not thinking correctly, I did a freshwater dip and wiped out that big deep water colony that was sitting on the bottom. Entirely my fault. But you're not going to ponder that. Trying not to ponder that too much. It's just doing good. This is kind of an interesting one. This guy here, we bought this at one of the local frag shows a while back. For those of you out there that care about names, you probably know what the name of that Ghani is. It's green with blue tips. And it had, like, I don't know, the tentacles were twice as long. It was flowing out here for months, doing great. And then it closed up, and it looked like it was receding and dying. And kind of like this one up here. Let's see if I can do this one-handed. Every time I go to change the zoom, it moves which lens the phone's using, and changes which color you guys see that coming through. So this is a red flower pot. This is one of those amaze balls or something that people are so excited about. We picked up at the last show. He's closed up right now, not losing any tissue. So this one looked like that for like 2 months, and then all of a sudden he started stretching back out again, but now I stretch out with like 4 times as many tentacle arms. So very, very neat situation going on there. These are some corals we picked up at the Aquashella Show. And for, if you guys know King George on the forums, or George Abraham here in the Valley, I am having a grow out contest with just his son for this little smooth skin right there. So I got to get that mounted because I'm pretty sure his son's already kicking my butt on that one. Kind of some disheartening news. Let's see, I'll try to come back here and get stabilized out. Just sit down and talk so you guys can look at the tank. There are some issues, I guess, this weekend, of course, with the webcams. So if you don't watch the webcams on the fish tanks, they're there 24/7. o2manyfish.com and o2manyfish.com/right, RIGHT. So one gives you a look at the tank from this side, and one gives you a look at the tank from this side. Both are HD, both are pan-tilt zoom, and use the zoom because you can zoom into the polyp level with those cameras. When a bunch of people are lined up, it does queue people, but it'll tell you how far into the queue you are before you can take control of the camera. And sometimes just watching the people is kind of nice. I forgot where I was going with that train of thought. The video, I don't know, let's just sit here and enjoy it for a minute. I apologize. Just, yep, it's a pretty tank. We'll sit there and go with it's a pretty tank. Enjoy it. The dogs are enjoying it. Smokey, do you like the tank? Smokey says yes, but I want up on the couch. Smokey on the couch? Okay. Oh, that's what I wanted to tell you guys. So if you've been watching the videos for a while, you might have heard me bitching about having a mantis shrimp in the tank that we've been trying to catch for over a year now and have been very unsuccessful at it. We've seen him. He won't go into any of the traps. We did catch him in a net once, but as the net came out of the water, he went flying out of the net back into the tank. I found where he was trying to make a home one day that was kind of accessible, and I knocked the top off that rock, and I grabbed him with a pair of aqua tongs, but I ripped off his snapping pincer arm, and 10 minutes later he was snapping away, and a month later he's snapping with both arms, and since then I actually have not seen him since then. He's about almost 5 inches long, and depending on what lights are on, he is midnight blue / black. And so he's been in here and removing little fish for me, but at least 2 times a week I come out anywhere between 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning when it's dark with a really bright flashlight, and I start looking for critters and stuff. Now, on the positive side of looking for critters and stuff, you're gonna have to look this one up because, as you know, I just shoot the videos. I don't insert stuff for you guys to find. Look up a trimagoby and an eviota goby. These are fish that belong in a nano tank, like full grown. Maybe they'll get over 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch, but usually they're like a 1/2 inch type fish. And a couple years ago, we put like 20 plus of them in, and my wife laughed at me. She said I should just go flush the money down the drain for putting fish that are so tiny in such a big tank. And a couple weeks ago, we actually found one. I found one. Of course, it was 2 o'clock in the morning, but I know where he lives. He's there throughout the day and the night. He's a little red fish. The problem is, I'll try to do this, move the filter around for you guys. There you go. Oh, just keep going. Zoom, 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 zoom. All right. Where's the filter now? There it goes. Okay. So you can see there, there's kind of where the acros are in the middle of the screen, where the goldflake just came out of, there's one big shelf rock on top of another big shelf rock. So that shelf rock is the top one is sitting on a piece of fiber grate, which is like commercial grade egg crate. You can drive a truck over it. And so that's sitting on top of that. The fiber grate holds up the whole aqua structure. And on the underside of that rock is a hole, and in that little hole cave lives one of the gobies. And every time one of these big fish swims through there, he goes back into his hole, and then you have to wait for him to come out. The problem is, as you can see, we've got some pretty cool corals right in front of where pretty much the damsel and the Fermani were, and his hole is right behind there. So if you want to try to take a picture to prove to your friends that you actually have this silly, tiny little fish living in this giant aquarium, and that you've put it in there purposely and found it, to get a picture, you have to shoot from an angle. So if you're a really good photographer out there and you would like the challenge of trying to shoot a little tiny fish using a macro lens and whatever equipment you want through 1.5-inch acrylic at a partial angle and a partial tilt, you were welcome to try it, because it frustrated me for a couple days. I got so frustrated, I went out and bought a bigger, heavier duty tripod to try to stabilize it, to try to get a picture, and in the end, there's no way to get a picture. So you're gonna have to trust me that there's a little fish living in there, tiny, tiny fish. And then 2 weeks after I was bragging about finding it, I was in there and I found a second one, but a different type, also living in that area. So it's really neat with reef tanks, especially when they get to the size. You never know who's kicking it in there. One of my favorite fish in the tank is a little red leopard wrasse that we'd have for probably right around a year now. And we got it. It was literally also a 1/2-inch fish, and it's up to about 1 inch now. It was out all the time, and then it disappeared, and I was so upset. And then last weekend, after being gone for like a month, all of a sudden he's out. He looks skinny, but he was out cruising around. So you never know what's going on in here. And thus, I have digressed greatly from the original point. So I was out here late night with my flashlight, searching for my Mantis shrimp, see if I could spot where he was, or get an idea of where I could try to hunt for, or just make myself feel like at least I'm attempting to get rid of him. And I look through and I spot a bobbit worm. Now, if you're not familiar with what a bobbit worm is, look it up. Pause the video right now, type in bobbit worm, and check these prehistoric creatures out. They are just pure nasty death. It's a worm. It has no brain, and it's segmented. So if you grab one side of it and it's holding onto the rocks, did I mention it's a worm that's got like 1,000,000 legs on it? It's a worm that has claspers on it. It's a worm that has venom in it. It's a worm that if you grab it and it's holding onto the rock and you break it apart, both halves that you break apart grow the other orifice that it's missing, either a mouth or a tush on one end or the other. Break it into 3 parts, guess what? You got 3 of these crazy, crazy things. So I've had one once before, a long, long time ago, that was eating clams in my tank. If you research them online, you'll see they pretty much eat any damn thing they want. Fish, crabs, invertebrates, corals even. Whatever swims past them, they grab. And they get big. So my previous 400, we had one that was eating clams, and basically it took a while, but I kept putting the Maximas farther away from the rock structure. He came coming out farther and farther at night to eat them. And finally one day, I very carefully with a pair of forceps, grabbed him and pulled him out, and was standing on a ladder. And I have a picture somewhere of me holding, with a tape measure, a 48-inch long bobbit worm that was almost maybe just between a quarter of an inch, just over a quarter of an inch wide. Not a 1/2 inch, but a quarter of an inch wide. Well, the bobbit worm I spotted on the back wall of this tank, the body was 3/4 of an inch wide, and then was the arms, and then was the forceps, and it was pretty amazing because I spotted it, and I mean, we'll show off a little bit of the tank here. So this is my side boob shot, right? So we're looking at 4 foot by 2.5 tall by 10 feet deep. Nice side shot. So now this is going to be fun. We're looking down the back wall of the reef tank. If we go above the Gorgonian. Okay. So you see the candy cane coral over there? All right. We're going to try to zoom past it. All right. Filter lens switch. Okay. So once again, we're shooting, that's probably 6 feet away, back in the tank. And you see the little guy there. Now, if you drop down right next to, see that opening that's, if I can get, maybe I can get it to go. Okay, see that opening right there? So I shined a flashlight in that opening at 4 o'clock in the morning. Come on, camera, focus. Focus? Okay, well, crap. There it goes. That little crevice right there, and saw this giant killer bobbit worm slide past. And then I came back 5 minutes later to double check that I saw what I thought I saw, and he went slithering past there again, and I saw just the ass end with the claspers go past. And then after he went past, he grabbed a piece of coral and a piece of old dead bird's nest and blocked that little cave opening. So if I wanted to reach in there, I couldn't. And then the next day when I came out to show my wife this horrible, horrible creature where it was living in the tank, it had taken and moved the piece of dead bird's nest and shoved a rock in that opening. That way over there, that right there behind the flame angel, that opening right there. So he went sliding up from the bottom up through there. Now, where is that? Okay, so let's go back out here. Filter, 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 filter. There we go, filter. All right, so pan out, pan out, pan out, pan out. All right, so we got our side boob shot. Okay, so you see the candy canes way back there still. There's a Antheus hanging out there. So now we're gonna come to the corner of the tank. So we're standing at this end, okay? And if you look back, and once again, we're gonna play with these stupid filters, but I'm just gonna mess with it right now. Okay, I won't change the filter just to give you an idea. So now we're looking at a diagonal. There are those candy cane corals. So the opening is right there. The problem is we were looking straight down the opening from the side boob shot of the tank. And this, oops, see, I'm not good at this camera photography stuff. We'll go back here. Okay, so you know where it is. It's way back over there. Okay, and so now when I come head on and I'm in front of the tank, one of the joys of having a 4-foot deep tank, okay, so it's way over there. Now, that opening is on great big pieces. That opening is created by great big pieces of slab rock, which are pond foam glued to the back of the aquarium. And this freaking killer creature somehow is living back there behind there. And I have not seen him, and he's got to be huge. And he's clearly been eating all the things I really love in the tank. So we have this huge dilemma now, because now not only do we have the Mantis shrimp, but we have the bobbit worm in this tank, and both are going to be impossible to catch. And so we're not quite sure how we're going to handle that. We could keep feeding them really expensive friends and not know which ones they're going to eat, but it's not really a good way to do things. So anybody out there that has an idea on how to do that, catch it, let me know. Now, kind of an interesting thing going on. If you live in Southern California, if you live Los Angeles or Orange County, and you're a new reef keeper or, beginning, or you'd like to find out more about this hobby and learn, and you go, where do I go to learn this stuff? So I've been in this industry a long time, and I know a lot of things, and unfortunately, my brain is losing things, and they're not going to be coming back. And one of the things I'm losing is my ability to remember and how to maintain the aquarium. And so we're trying to keep the aquarium going. The other video tells you I'm getting rid of the frag tanks, but we would like to try to keep this aquarium as a reef the way it is as long as possible. And without help, it's going to be very difficult to do that. So if you would love to get a huge education in reef keeping and coral keeping and aquarium automation and stuff like that, and you would like to come work, there's money available to pay for your time while you get educated. But I'd like to teach several people all the mechanics of running the system so that someone can continue to operate the system when I won't be able to. So if you're interested in that, reach out to David o2manyfish and say, hey, I want you to teach me really cool stuff. You've watched my videos, I know all kinds of stuff, and every day I remember a little bit less of it, and the fish tank is clearly a big part of our life, my wife and I, and our house and everything else. And we don't want to have to shut it down till we have to. And so if there's people out there that say, how do I learn about how doing this? And they can give up the time to start coming on a regular basis and hanging out in Encino, I will teach. This is not a come clean my tank for free invitation, okay? I don't need you to clean stuff. What I need to do is teach people how all the different parts work, how the chemistry works, how to test for the chemistry, and then come over and start keeping track that I'm doing things correctly. Because I'm getting to the point now, like where I killed that deep water loripes, that I don't feel that I'm 100% good caretaker of my livestock anymore. And so it makes it very difficult for me to enjoy this if I think I'm putting all my beautiful friends at risk. So if you're interested in learning really every bit possible about how to keep aquariums, freshwater, saltwater, big fish, little fish, small fish, corals of any type, I have that knowledge. I am willing to share it. You do not have to clean filter socks. You do not have to scrape algae coral racks. You do not have to wipe algae. You don't have. You may have to carry bags of salt because I do have a bag shoulder. But I want to teach you things, and I need someone that I can teach, and then we'll come over and practice these things to keep an eye to start teaching me stuff back. But more importantly, keeping track of me not making mistakes and jeopardizing more of the animals in here. So I know not a happy way, and I'm usually a very happy person, not a happy thought. But if you'd like to learn, I'd like to teach you, and reach out to me and let you know. We do provide beverages and gloves and good music. And you don't have to be strong, you don't have to be tall, you don't have to be short. I don't care what gender you are, but you have to identify with some type of gender with me so I can say, hey, you, and say it correctly. You could be a child as long as you want to learn. You know, I don't have a problem. I've had people in the past years come over that were under 10 years old, but they wanted to learn, and I'm happy to teach them. So if you're under the age of 16 and you have your parents' permission to come and you have means of getting here, I'm happy to start teaching on a regular basis how to maintain an aquarium like this. And if you know me and followed any of my threads, I'm a really good, generous person. So there's a good chance if you works out well, you'll end up with everything you need to have a big, beautiful aquarium like this, because I have so much extra aquarium stuff that needs to start finding good homes, and you could be the lucky one. So come learn, come help me keep my aquarium, and maybe start building that dream aquarium of your own. So I've rambled on for 20 plus minutes now. The tank is still pretty and beautiful. My voice is cracking. Thanks for your time, and hopefully we'll have an update for you soon. Good night.